All right, well today we're going to let out 4 of our oldest calves. Yes, just 4. They're the oldest calves. There's a good gap between our calves this year because our heifer calves didn't come till a lot later. But these are the ones that are born in January, and it's time they were out. There's a lot of work cleaning them out every morning, especially in a smaller house like this. And we want to actually put other calves in this house now, move other calves around. We don't want to bother putting any of them into the calving pen because we still need the calving pen for them other cows when they're going to calve. So what we're going to do to alleviate some of the work that we're doing at the minute is we're going to put these 4 outside. At least then they're out of the house. And then in a few weeks' time we'll start adding more and more calves outside as they grow. We want to give them ones up there more room to run around. So we might move some of them down here and just give calves plenty of room and space to move around. So that's the job we're going to do today. First of all, I hope that you're fit to hear me clearer today. It's very windy here at the minute. But I'm using a new mic, which I haven't got it in the right place. Don't scratch the mic, don't scratch the mic. But I'm using a new mic, I have it all set up here now, and hopefully you guys will hear me a lot clearer. It means I can put the camera down now and I can walk away from it. And you guys will still be fit to hopefully hear me, which might make the job all the more interesting. I'll be fit to take you more places around the farm, not have to carry the camera with me all the time, and you guys will still be fit to hear me as we're doing our jobs. So what we've done so far, we have our electric fence put up here. Around the front, not let the calves in on top of where the silage is. Well, we tend to do every year, we do the same thing. We run an electric fence across our yard, let our calves out, let them have a run around, a good gallop around, get that out of their system. And also have the electric fence up as a trainer to train them of what the electric fence does before they go out. And that works extremely well, because if we didn't do that, you'd put them into a field, and what happens is, and will happen, is they'll gallop everywhere. They'll not know what a fence is, and they'll just run through every single thing that you put up before they even see it, and end up probably breaking a few posts, and that has happened in the past. So we do put up this here just as a quick training for them, so they get used to the electric fence before they go out, and it works at the treat. Now we have the fence on. Now Lena, remember, don't put your hand on the fence like Daddy. You can come on in here on this side, go underneath it. Underneath, go on underneath it, down, down, keep down, keep down, keep down, keep down, keep down, keep down, you're over it. So if you want to close that door completely now, or bring the gate across and clip it over, yeah. And that way we'll keep them where they are. And we'll line up along the wire here now to try and protect this. Now they're going to get their first dingers here. Our battery fencer's running here full whack. What do you think?
That one got electric shock.
Did one of them get electric shock?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Bad as it might sound, we do want them to get an electric shock. It doesn't do them any harm. I've got it several times myself, and you guys have got a good laugh about that one. But we do want them to get a shock or two of the fence before they go out, just so they know what it is. Easy.
Got it.
Now they're already starting to calm down. This is when they start to get used to the fence. So girls, we just move back from the fence a wee bit and we let them get closer and closer to the wire. And as we go along, what we tend to do then is we start to narrow the yard all the time. So close it in closer and closer and closer to them, so that they realise that when they're hampered into a small area that the fence is not a good thing to be touching. So that white one there is just after getting the first touch of the fence there. It's good to also learn them to get used to each other, because when they're in the shed together they have no room to really gallop around. And if you let them out into a field like that, what happens is one will gallop, the other one will chase after it, and the one in front will look behind and say, why is this one galloping after me? I'm not used to that. And she'll gallop harder, when the one behind her will probably say to itself, where's she going? I want to follow her. And that's what happens. They gallop after each other and frighten each other. The next thing they're through the hedge, through the fences. Yeah, not such a good idea. Right, so we have the trailer all set up, and the idea is we're going to get them up here and up on that trailer. Looks quite and simple, doesn't it? I just know it won't be that simple. But we're going to try to get them in the yard here first. I'm going to close this gate. That's only 3. Where's the other one? That worked handy enough. Now, Elena, you bring the gate over there. Bring the gate over to me. Well, that almost worked too easy. We're not there yet, though. I'll get you to do a very important job here for me. On this way here. Nicole, you come up behind them there now. On up here. Could you stand there in that hole? Yeah, I'll lift you up. Up you get. You stand there, right? So you block them from going up there. We'll take her nice and handy. Come on up there. Come on. Once one goes, they'll all go. Listen to move here forward. There we go. There's one gone. Follow the leader. Come on. Come on. Go on. There we go. That's better. Oh, on up there. Shh, shh. Now. Shh, 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 shh. They're out. And they're going to go for wee gallops around there now, as you see. Bit mad. Oh no, through the wire already. It's just busted his way through the barbed wire. Didn't expect it to do that. That means now we're going to have a lot of work to do to get that calf back in again. Whether it's going to come in or not itself, it probably won't. Yeah, that's a pity now. That's not ideal. As soon as they went in, that's what calves do. I didn't run any electric up along there because there's a fairly good hedge. I did think about doing it, but I didn't think to go jumping through the hedge. But it's obvious now we're going to have to run electric fence up along that hedge as well. Nicole's just gone into the silage field on the other side of that hedge, and she's just going to keep up and down along that hedge and try to stop the rest of them. And that one, hopefully, it's trying to come back in, and it's back in.
I'll stay here.
Did it break the barbed wire? Yeah.
No.
Right. Didn't break it, no.
No.
You stay there, yeah, you guard in there. Now it's been 10 days since that clip was filmed, and the calves have been out now and settled, and there has been no more breakouts, which is good news. You might notice little bits of piles of stuff here and say, are you feeding them outside? Well, the grass has been very, very wet, kind of prolonged then for a couple of days, a bit of an old drizzle. I was giving them a bit of roughage just to kind of balance out the whole thing, so I was throwing just a little bit of silage, long silage, bale silage, just a grape here and there every so often, and they were loving that. So I couldn't do any harm just to give them a grape of that, and I kept them right. Eating a lot of grass because of this area. As you can see here, if you go over, you can see the difference between the two. They have good appetites. But this is a nice area here. It's sheltered enough. There's no real mad breeze hitting them. And they actually still go up there to the corner where the bales are, and they lay in the corner because the bales will block any draft coming that direction as well. And they have a comfortable wee corner up there that they seem to love to lay in. And yeah, they're happy out. In about another week, we'll put another 5 out with those. Then probably another week to 2 weeks after that, depending on their age. I have to check their age when I get home. We'll put the rest of them out. But there'll be no calves going out unless they're completely off milk replacer and eating plenty of meal. That's one thing. I do not let calves out unless I know that they're eating plenty of meal. Alright, so the next job we're going to do is we're going to put a proper electric fence around this opening here. Now, this opening is obviously for our machinery shed whenever we get round to building it. That's a wee while off yet. Prices of stuff is just so expensive. We've got loads of quotes for doing this, and to do it right, it needs a mass concrete wall. That's about an 11-foot drop there. So really, to do this right, we need a mass concrete wall, something that we can backfill up against, and that way we can fill up against it and there's no danger of anything falling in between a wall and a bankment. Because if we built that with blocks, we'd have to leave this bankment, we'd have to slope it back further, and then there's also a risk of something falling in there, and you'd always have out clay and things falling around and laying up against the wall and trapping wet and things like that. So we have another area that we're going to put machinery shed first on, but we'll talk about that in another video. It's another area that's flat and much easier to work on. So we are going to build a little spot that'll hold our rake man, our mower, our hedge cutter, and a few other bits and pieces as well. So that is coming, and we're going to wait, save up a few quid and do the thing right. There's no point in rushing it now and trying to get something up and doing it wrong and then wishing later on we had it done it a different way. So that'll be coming on the channel later on, but for now we're going to get electric fence put around this opening here because it is quite unsafe, and this is only a temporary bit of tape that I put up around it just to keep the thing safe for now. It was never supposed to be here for very long, so I suppose one thing to do now is get at it. Now, I used to do a lot of videos on fencing, and I used to get told off time after time after time because I'm not a qualified fencer, I'm not a professional fencer, I don't want to be. I'm just a farmer putting up his own fences. But one thing I was told about the way I was tying these egg insulators, they're called egg insulators because they look like an egg, and I was putting it through here, basically like this here, and tying it off like that, which was wrong. I didn't realise that was the wrong way to do it. I should have. But you guys advised me, some nice, some not so nice, but you still advised me that I should be tying it here and bringing it across, which actually makes far more sense. So I did learn that from you guys, so thanks for the tip. Even the ones that said it in a different way, I still appreciate the tip, and I'm going to learn from my mistakes and do it the right way from now on. Now I know the way I'm tying it isn't the perfect way either, but I've tied it like this for the past 25 years and I've never had a fence ever come loose or ever open. There's not going to be a pile of strain on this. If there's a big strain, I know there's a way you can loop it around and pull it in through here, and I just can't remember. I watched a few videos on YouTube and I just can't remember whatever way it was, but today I'm just going to do it the ordinary way. I am going to learn to do a different knot on this. I know there's a different way of doing it that's much stronger. I just can't remember today how to do it, but I think this is a little improvement in itself. You're always learning something new every day, and I learned this tip from you guys. Now, just to show you, that's the way I'm doing it now. I'm happy enough with them. I know they're not professional, but they've never opened for me, and I know if there was a lot of strain in these, they probably would pull open, it'd unwind and open. But as I said before, it has never happened here, ever happened, and I've a lot of electric fences up and I've never had one ever loosen yet. But I will learn to do it the proper way, so you don't have to advise me. I know there's a better way of doing this, by tucking it in and lapping around this. I know there is. I just can't remember what it was done. And I'm not going to start looking up YouTube now because I don't have any internet, so this will do for the day. So all I'm going to do now is tie on the very same things on the other side, and then we're going to put on a wire. So I have the first row of wire put around. It's not hooked up then, it's just run around, it's tied onto the insulator over there, running right around the outside of the posts, and now it's tied on here. And you might say, hold on Aidan, that's very loose. Well, it is loose, it's loose on purpose, because I'm going to show you a little tip. I want to rephrase that and say I'm going to show you the way I have been doing it and found it very handy. So I had a band and ship there, and this is the following day now because, well, milking had to be done. It was coming near milking time, so, and then after that we had a few runs to do, so didn't get back to it after milking. And then it's been pouring rain all morning now. It's just gone actually 3 p.m. on my invisible watch. So it's just got enough time now to get this all finished up, ready for milking this evening as well. I'm hoping the rain has quit because sky doesn't look great, but it's supposed to have laid up now, so hopefully we'll get an hour or so to finish this. It's not going to take an hour, but when you're filming, it takes a long time. So we have the wire cut here in half, and you might wonder, why did I put the wire on then cut it? Well, that's the reason why I put it on loose. I'm going to show you why I did that in a few minutes. But first of all, I have to put on insulators for these posts. So I need different insulators for every one of them. I have a little small straight insulator, which is these guys here, that I nail on into them. And then these corner ones, I'm going to cut off some of this of a roll that we have here. That'll go right around the post in the corners and completely insulate that. So what we're going to do is we're going to run them up onto the wire first. And God knows how many times I have put the wire on and forgot to put these insulators on. It happens to us all. But not today. Not today when we're on the video. We better do it right and make it look kind of half decent. So that's what we're going to do now. Just want to make sure we have enough. That should be good. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is make sure we put on our insulators right. So we have one small post over there. Now that one goes on first, I think. Yeah. And a corner one. Go on, you girl, yeah. There you are. Then another small one. And then one final corner one. Straighten this up before I put it on. There we are. Right, so the reason I cut this is because I always put these guys on and they make tightening the wire so much easier. So that's why I left the wire slack, so I have room to put one of these on. So I'll leave that like that. I better not let it touch that wire because that wire's on. But we'll leave that like that and we'll put on our insulators next and then we'll tighten it up. Now that's them on the whole way around. As you can probably see, I didn't sew the actual steeples home. I keep them that they're just grabbing it and no more. This is going to get hot on a real warm day. And this is going to eventually wear itself through here. And then it'll touch the wire and the whole thing will go down through the post. So you're better off not driving them home. Just leave them that they're catching and no more, and that's good enough. Then we get these lads here, which is just basically the tool for tightening these. I'll flip this on. I just want to kind of show you. Not too easy doing this with one hand. We're going to try. That wire goes in there. And then as you tighten, yeah, not easy with one hand, but you kind of understand it fits in there. And this boy opens up, grabs it again, and every time you pull it then, it'll pull the wire through and tighten it up. You might wonder why I'm leaving bits out both sides. Well, that's simple. If this ever loosens, which hopefully it won't, but if it ever does, there's still enough room to put the tool back on again and grab it. You need to leave enough room just for it to grab it and be able to pull it tight again. That's the only reason. So all you do is just tuck that around the wire like that. That's it. Job done. Now you have to be really careful not to pull it too tight because them yokes could literally pull the posts in on top of each other. So you just want it to look relatively tight and decent. It's as decent as it's going to look anyway. And that's the job done. I'm going to do the exact same job now on the bottom row and we'll have a look at it when it's finished. That's the second row on. All good and tight as well. Doesn't look too bad. If I do say so myself, it looks alright. And it's definitely going to be a lot more secure and they're not going to go near that. Now, one thing I do have to do is I have to electrify the bottom one off the top one, and then I have to just join from here over to here, and that's my power on. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to use a bit of underground cable because it's starting to rain now again, and I knew it was going to come back. So I'll put that second row on a lot faster when the camera was off because I could see it coming across the hill. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to use a bit of underground cable just to connect the two wires together. Sorry, you alright there? You had a bit of a tumble. Yeah, it's pouring. There we are, all connected up. Right, I'm going to finish this off now when it's pouring rain here on top of me. Now there's another part that we have to do here, which is over along this garden. Now, any of yous have a keen eye will remember this garden used to come up probably to where that thistle is, just above Hudson there, but up around where that thistle is, and then straight across from that tree. It was a nice looking garden to look at, but it was just too much maintenance, and I was cutting grass every Sunday non-stop on this here, and I was sick of it. And so was my parents. They were sick of looking at me cutting it all the time, and they knew that it was taking up a lot of time, so we took it out. Great job to get it out. Now we are going to put a little bit of a lawn back, just to give them a little bit of a lawn, a place maybe to put up a clothesline and things like that, or maybe just to sit out on a nice day. It's always nice to have a little bit of a grass area. So what I'll do is I'll come from that stay, and I'll come across here up about 15 feet and come straight across to them trees, and we put up a nice stud rail fence, something similar to what's down there around my own lawn. I done all that fencing myself, and it didn't take me very long. It's something I actually enjoy, a bit of stud rail fencing, so it'll not take very much to do it. We'll put down the posts, dig a few holes with a spade, put down the posts. I might put a gate over there, a little small gate that you can get in and out of the field if you wanted to bring in grass or something if you're cutting the garden. But that's for another video. I will video that as well. We'll just pick a better day to do it. I'm way off now to do my evening's walk. Hope you enjoyed my bit of fencing. I know a lot of you will say this and that about it, yes, but it's not too easy when you put it on a camera. And I'm not a professional, as I said before, and I don't want to be a professional, but you know what, that's the way I've been doing it a while. I have learned little tricks from you guys with the insulators and things. Everybody should be fit to learn something every day, and I'm learning as I go along, getting a little bit better. I learned to tie my knots better now on the wire. I'm going to look at a YouTube video tonight actually and draw a little sketch of it that I remembered and stays in my head, or maybe take a picture of my phone. But otherwise it's up, it'll be turned on now in a few minutes time. It'll be safe for now until we get more work done on this shed down the line. But that's it, I'm going to leave it there for now. Thanks very much for watching. If you haven't subbed, you know the usual crack. You can sub if you like, if you enjoy the content. And until the next one, we'll talk to you again. Hudson, where are you? Have you gone to the shed without me? Traitor.